And we're back! Hey everyone, it's Jason from GameRave.com, and this is Pause Mode. So we begin this episode with a little story, back history if you will. When I was in college almost 2 decades ago, one stormy afternoon caused my car to hydroplane and smash into a car in front of me. Now, the facts about that incident, like how I did a few $1,000s damage to my car, and how the other driver decided to drink in a bar while he waited for the cops, are not what's important. What is important is in my most defeated, embarrassed moment, and honestly my first car crash ever, was what I did the next day. Drowning in my own self-pity, I went to a Toys R Us for a little pick-me-up. Mind you, when I walked in, it was thinking of a cheap game or maybe a Transformer for the shelf, and instead, I walked out with a then half-price Sega CDX for $200. That's right, I just paid $200 for something I basically already had. So what is the CDX? Well, it's a damn fine little compact game system based around the Sega Genesis and the Sega CD add-on. The CDX is actually the third and final official hardware revision for said systems and had an added bonus tossed in, but we'll get back to that in a second. Life of the little beast started off when the Sega CD was first released for the original Sega Genesis. Sitting beneath the deck and wired in from the sidecar and the audio cord from the front, the Sega CD truthfully was a monstrosity of an aesthetic design, but it did the trick. Seriously, look at that thing. Sidecar attachment, wired to the back, extra AV audio cords in the back, and 2 AC adapters for your ill-prepared wall. That said, the Model 1 is actually one of my all-time favorite console designs despite the ugly duckling view, with my all-time favorite looking console, of course, being the PlayStation and the Turbo Duo. As time moved on, Sega decided to slim things down a bit on both fronts. The Model 2 Genesis and the Sega CD gave up the girth for the width, with the world's largest diving board provided for the Genesis to sit on. This combo is actually the setup I grew up with. In fact, the Sega CD Model 2 was the first thing I ever bought with my first paycheck, all $250 of it. The pack-in of Sewer Shark was the only game I had to play for a long, long time, and I loved every moment of it. Which then brings us back to the Sega CDX. It's essentially Sega's answer to the TurboGrafx 16 CD combo, but with turning a feature into the entire unit. You see, on that particular system, one of the selling points was that the CD caddy could actually come out and be used as a portable CD player. When done, you would just dock it back into the system. With Sega, however, the entire damn machine became the portable music CD player. The best part? I actually bought it based on that reason. Seriously. I would take a towel and fold it down into a little cushion and put it on the floor of my car, and then put the CDX on top of that, and then pop the tape cassette adapter into the car stereo. Shut up and ask your parents. After inserting the 2 AA batteries needed for the CD playback, I was cruising around town with the best U2 and Aha could offer. I only really stopped when I realized the pothole-filled streets of Chicago are not the best source for the little party machine. Skipping was really bad, and the poor little guy skipped on every pebble. So how does it hold up as a console? Pretty damn well, actually. And you truly cannot beat the form factor. Obviously, it plays all the Sega Genesis games and the Sega CD games, along with music CDs and the now long-defunct CD Plus graphics discs. You can use the system's physical button to use the system as a CD player without ever having to turn on the television, which is a nice touch. The system comes equipped with an AV cord and a thankfully single power unit, along with Sega's glorious 6-button controller. When you bought the system new, the pack-ins were modified from the original Sega CD1 model bundle. The first disc was the standard Sega Arcade Classics, but now with Super Monaco GP added to the mix. Echo the Dolphin CD gets substituted for Sherlock Holmes, and the heavily debated Sonic CD takes over Soulfeast's pack-in slot. As with all hardware, there are downsides, though the CDXs really aren't downsides. They're more open for interpretation. First and foremost, the only true shenanigan is the controller port housing. Due to the angled molds, the original multi-taps will not work for the system, at least natively. You could use controller extension cords to work around it, but I've never tried it myself, so I can't really comment. The other, more unsure aspect is game compatibility. In doing the research for this project, as well as my own history with the system, it seems like every CDX ever made has a slightly different taste for what it will and won't play. Some of the more persistent findings were games like Terminator and Prince of Persia having playback function issues, or games like Jurassic Park taking too long to load. My own deck's only hiccup that I can recall is that it doesn't like the ending to Android Assault. The entire game plays fine up until you beat the last boss, and then it just hangs at a black screen. We also have to deal with the 32X. Sega will not officially comment on the 32X working with the system, but it does. I used to use a converter cartridge and a stack of cassette tapes as a stand for mine, as I was afraid the metal plates on the 32X's cart slot would heat the plastic on the CDX. I've actually seen others just plug it straight in and be done with it. Approach that angle as you see fit. Now, before you decide to go collector hungry and grab one, be aware that the other murky aspect of the system is its price and availability. The system's total number sold is an unknown quantity, and I have seen some sites comment as low as 5,000 units, which seems absurd. The system can jump from about $100 to almost $600 and higher based on completeness and condition. If you're looking to save space and a wall outlet, it's the best bet for the available buck. However, $600 for a Sega CD is absurd. Alright guys, and that does it for this week, which means we finally bring Season 5 of Game Rave to a close and begin Season 6 with Episode 75 of Game Rave TV. My god, what have you people done? Alright guys, that said, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Take care.